Namaste and welcome back to today's episode of Mahabharata Matters. In the previous episode, we saw that Bhima had fulfilled a vow by drinking the blood from Dushasana's heart and killing him. Radheya was devastated to see this sight. He was in intense grief that the dearest brother of his dearest friend had died on the battlefield. Shalya said, "Your friend will be in great grief too. You should not stay here now. Let me take you to Arjuna. You need to kill him now." By then, Vrishasena, Radheya's son, was going towards Bhima. On the way, he was intercepted by Arjuna. Vrishasena too was a great warrior just like his father. But Arjuna had vowed to kill Vrishasena right in front of the eyes of Karna. Even as Karna was approaching, Arjuna shot a sharp arrow at Vrishasena and killed him. Now Radheya was in intense grief, having seen the deaths of his dear friend's brother as well as his own son. His grief suddenly turned as anger towards Arjuna. Their chariots had come face to face. Everyone watched with bated breath. At this time, Ashwathama approached Duryodhana. He said, "Your grandfather Bhishma, my father Drona, and now your brother Dushasana too have laid their lives for you. Now your dear friend Radheya has put his neck out for you. Even he doesn't have to die. Please call this war off. Yudhishthira will be more than happy to hear about the ceasefire." But Duryodhana shook his head. He said, "I am at a place of no return now. After seeing the death of my dear brother Dushasana, there is no way I can call this war off. I have to go all the way now." Duryodhana was intensely grief-stricken. He sent his army to surround Radheya and protect him. The Pandavas too sent their army around Arjuna. The great duel had started. Their skills were so spectacular. Everyone watched from a distance. Arjuna sent an Agni Astra which was countered by a Varuna Astra by Karna. Arjuna released his Aindra Astra. It was countered by Karna with the very powerful Bhargava Astra. It was more powerful than Arjuna's Aindra Astra. Bhima was enraged to see this. He said to Arjuna, "If you are unable to face him, let me do it for you. With one blow of my mace, I shall kill him." Now Krishna spoke to Arjuna and reminded him about their previous birth. Krishna and Arjuna were the twin sages, Nara and Narayana. He said to Arjuna, "This Karna is the same Damodbhava we had tackled in our previous birth. You have to kill him now. It is your turn. Do not hesitate," he added. Now Arjuna remembered his previous birth. In that birth, they had to tackle a very unruly asura named Damodbhava. He was also known as Sahasra Kavacha because he had received a boon of 1,000 armors. For any warrior to remove one layer of his Kavacha, he himself had to do penance for 1,000 years. So the twin sages Nara and Narayana had taken turns alternating penance and fighting with Damodbhava. They had removed every layer of his Kavacha one by one. Narayana had removed the 999th layer, and by then, afraid that he would be killed, Damodbhava had taken refuge under Sun God. For protecting an Asura like Damodbhava, Narayana had cursed Sun God to take the form of a human birth. By then, Pralaya had happened and all the Jivas were withdrawn. Hence, in Dwapara Yuga, Damodbhava was born as Karna, the son of Sun God. Hence, Karna was born with the last layer of his Kavacha and Kundala from the previous birth. But now, Indra had taken away that Kavacha and Kundala just before the war had started. Arjuna remembered all this now. Krishna said, "Use the Brahmastra to counter his Bhargava Astra." Arjuna did that and they recovered just in time from the onslaught of Karna. There were times when the Kaurava army thought Radheya had died. At times the Pandava army gasped, thinking that Arjuna was killed. So spectacular was their duel. They were recovering from each other's terrible blows and astras. Karna cut the strings of Arjuna's bow 11 times and every time he recovered at lightning speed. Karna could not help but admire the speed and the skill of his younger brother Arjuna. It looked as if the duel between them would never end. Everyone in the vicinity had fled and were watching from a distance. Their skills were equally matched and they each were spectacular. So, what are our takeaways from the story? No matter how invincible one might be, the fruits of his actions will follow him wherever he goes. Damodbhava had thought he had escaped death due to Pralaya, but he had to take birth again next time and pay the price. Our actions are like seeds sown. Some may germinate sooner, some may take longer. But germinate, they sure will. It is these fruit of actions that keep us in the cycles of birth and death. The only way to cut the cycle of birth and death is through Gnana, as our Shastras say. The seeds of our actions have to be roasted in the fire of knowledge. Only then those seeds will have no potency to germinate again and again to keep us in the cycle of birth and death, pain and pleasure, sorrow and happiness. With these thoughts, we come to the end of today's episode. Remember, in this series we are discussing matters of Mahabharata because even today, Mahabharata matters. Hari Om!